talk to Mohammed Munir, who's a lecturer in molecular virology, biomedical and life sciences at Lancaster University. Mohammed Munir, welcome back to the programme. Good to see you. First of all, what is driving surging infections in this country, and why are we not seeing similar levels of coronavirus in other major European countries?
Well, thank you very much for having me back on the show. At the moment, we are having 1 in 60 people affected in the UK, which is more than any time throughout the pandemic, which is really significant. And I think one of the major reasons that we are having so high infection rate is that in the Western Europe, the least stringent COVID-19 restriction is in the UK. And within the UK, England is worse. I mean, if you look onto the other European countries, for instance, France and Germany, they introduced mandatory masks back in August and vaccine passport, and it's still the same. And that means that the overall impact onto the transmission by a cumulative effect of mask and social distancing and of course the other restriction altogether have impact onto the reduced number of infection in those European countries compared to the UK.
Which begs the question then, what rates of infections could trigger government action?
Well, I think it is now. If we look onto the overall infections we are having, overall deaths we are having like 200, that's not really too many in the scenario when we have 80% of the population vaccinated. So it is the time now before the winter fully kick in and the number of flu infection would go very high. For instance, I mean, as you were reporting in the previous report, that the number of infection we already have now with the influenza in the UK are more than what we have seen in last 2 years together. So this means that flu has still to come into full flag, and that is what we have to avoid. It is time now to act if we want to avoid the overwhelming condition of the flu and the SARS-2 together.
What do we know about the efficacy of COVID booster shots, and how quickly are they being rolled out in the UK at the moment?
Absolutely. I think the important thing that in the current scenario with the increasing number of cases is to look into what is the level of immunity in the community. So we know that after 6 months, the overall effectiveness of the vaccine decreased to half, around 50% for both AstraZeneca and Pfizer and Moderna vaccine, which are very commonly being used in the UK. But the booster dose keep that immunity level very high up to the 90% level, and that is what the study in Israel and other countries has indicated. So this is the time to enhance the booster doses for people who are vulnerable, where the immunity is dropping. At the moment in the UK, half of the population who is eligible for the booster dose are not vaccinated, and that is down to because there has been a very slow rollout. People being called very slowly, so around 200 vaccination being done per day. It need to be amplified to 500,000 to reach to the Christmas time when we have all eligible booster people will be boosted.
Mohammed Munir at Lancaster University, thank you very much indeed.